Hi everyone, it's Kirby. It's April 27th, 2025. And I see that a couple of you are here. I'm just going to begin now because most of you will actually be seeing this in the replay. I'm just going to go check and see what's going on. And I think we're good here. Let's see. Just want to check that it's actually working. And I think it is. Okay, so we are, okay, so it's working and I'm here and so are some of you. So here's what's going on. I had some technical difficulties and my DMs with Sean and a couple of the victims, I am not allowed to DM them anymore. And so that's not working. And so Sean and I were actually supposed to do a show today. I was under the impression that it was going to be at 1 o'clock. Hence, it's 1:19 now. But he just finished his live and he's off and running to do some of his stuff. And so now I'm going to show up on his show tomorrow to do basically, to keep updating the new information that I keep finding. And so I thought, you know what? I'm already here. I've got my mic on. I've got my earplugs in. I have all my stuff. And, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to just call it a day because I see that a lot of you were commenting on the information I uploaded earlier today. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to just bring you guys up to date again and hang around with you and see if you have any questions and tell you what's going on. So so that we can do this amongst ourselves. And then I'll do my interview with Sean tomorrow. Because again, can you believe that I'm not allowed to DM either Sean or some of the victims? I can DM anybody else, but suddenly, and I just think that's uber strange, okay? Uber strange. So here's the thing. Initially, the news reported that, and I just want to say for those of you who are new to watching podcasts on YouTube, that we are not allowed to say certain words. Therefore, the use of the word unalivement is substituted because if we say the actual word for some of the things that we are trying to bring to your attention, and I know those of you here understand and but for newbies, I've seen comments, oh, what does this mean, unalive? Well, that's regrettably what we have to do on this platform. And so I am going to give you a heads up that I may have to do that. And so originally the date of her unalivement was said by mainstream media to have been Friday, April 25th. However, it turns out that it was in fact Thursday, April 24th. Her brother, by the way, one of her two brothers, Sky, was frankly staying with her, as I mentioned in my podcast earlier this morning. So he was with her at her farm in Australia, and he was with her at the time that she expired, sadly. What happened was someone called the ambulance, and the ambulance arrived, and apparently they attempted, to revive her. Okay, and they arrived at the house at 9:50 p.m. Thursday, Australia time. Remember, we have a time difference across all of our respective countries. All right. However, what I want to say is that her father, and here's a photo of possibly the last photo that she took with her father, Sky Roberts. He was very concerned about her. Very concerned about her. He was afraid, and I'm going to read his comments to you. She's in really bad shape. She's very depressed. There's everything else. And then she's going through the divorce and not being able to see her kids. So according to this comment, it sounds like she is going through the divorce. She's not completely divorced, okay? She's going through the divorce and she is not able to see her kids. That is what he said. And that she, as a result, was really depressed, as anyone would be. And then he said that his son, meaning the son who was in fact her half brother, was staying with her at the house and keeping him up to date, because he's in Florida, as to her condition, and that his son was trying to get her spirits up so she doesn't give up. So her father, Sky Roberts, was afraid that she was going to unalive herself. And then he said, she's only 41. She's got a lot of life to live. She's got a lot of things left to do. She's helping people and helping other girls. And then he went on to say that he feels very helpless. So he had this, I guess, this, like when you're a parent, this unusual feeling that she was really not in a good place mentally. And so I just want to take a look and see who's here. Hi, John Daniel. Shout out from Cape Town. Thanks for being here. Trudy Time. Hey, from West Tennessee. Terrific. Hi, prayers for protection, Kirby, and everyone else targeted. Thank you. Maya, thanks for showing up. Good to see you here. And let's see, Robert, Sean mentioned he mailed you. Yeah, that's the only way we can communicate, because apparently my ability to DM on X has been denied. I can DM other people, but I can't DM either Sean or anyone involved in the JE situation, meaning the victims. So I just think that's really peculiar. Okay, so according to her father, whose photograph I just showed you, she's very distraught. At the time that he made that statement, which he said it about 3 weeks ago after that accident. And so she's got the 3 children, and their names are Christian, Noah, and Emily. Emily is the youngest. She's 14. Now, while this photo, their faces are blurred, I want you to know that Emily is the spitting image of Virginia. The spitting image. She has the same cute little face as her mother. And so she's 14. I believe the other ages of the other kids, I think the eldest is 19, but I could be wrong. They're still all teenagers. Now, the media was reaching out to her family, so this is now current, what's happening now. And so her sister-in-law, meaning Sky's wife, and she's only apparently still close to one brother. She's estranged from her other brother. Her parents appear to have been married twice each, which the second marriage being with Virginia's mother, who she remains estranged from, even during her last day, okay? And so her sister-in-law, Amanda, did issue a statement, and said the world lost a fierce warrior. She wished for all survivors to get justice. That is who she was. We lost our sister. Her children lost their mother, and her mother lost her daughter. That's where we are now. She was one of the most beautiful souls you would ever have the chance to meet. But I think sometimes that load and that weight becomes too much to carry. There were a couple of other people that the media reached out to. Among them is her uncle, Jet Roberts. And he said that he had only learned about Virginia's passing Saturday morning and that he didn't really know what else was going on social media. And he said that she was a very nice person who had a lot of bad luck. He was very sad. He declined to give further information other than saying that the family is taking her demise very hard. Now we know that Sigrid Macaulay, who was a managing partner of the law firm Boyce, Schiller, and Flexner, which is David Boise's law firm, issued a statement, and I'm going to read that to you. Virginia Giuffre was much more than a client to me. She was a dear friend. Virginia was fearless, and her courage pushed me to fight harder. Virginia's sunny strength was contagious, and her smile spread hope to so many. She lifted us all to be better, and so we must be better. The world has lost a light that shone bright. Rest in peace, my sweet angel. Again, she is a managing partner of Boyce, Schiller, Flexner. Boyce, as some of you may have seen on my X account, was the attorney for Bill and Hillary Clinton, as well as a close friend and attorney for Harvey Weinstein. Boyce, according to some victims who have made allegations against Clinton, did not disclose this information when he took them on as clients, and so therefore, some of them are not very happy with him. While the authorities of the Western Australia Police Force declared her unalive, they did attempt to resuscitate her. Meaning, I know everyone is asking, well, what was the manner of how did it happen? Well, it didn't happen in the way we can extract from this comment by the Western Australia Police Force, that she was not found, let's say, with a rope tied around between her chin and her shoulders, let's say. I have to really be very careful about how I describe things on this channel. So that's out of the question. If they tried to revive her, it would also indicate that there was like no pew-pew, right? So that leaves open the possibility that there were some, perhaps, substance that she may have swallowed, which rendered her unconscious, which then prompted because it was just the ambulance that was called to the house, which again, they tried to resuscitate her. They were unsuccessful. They arrived at the house at 9:50 p.m. I just want to, as I'm doing this, I really want to stay tuned in to you guys. And so I'm going to keep looking. Okay, I see you guys are here, and so far, so good. Okay. And let me see if there's a photo, another photo that I'm going to keep the photo of her father. Now, so here's the thing. Her father really wanted to be in Australia. His comment, and I'm going to try to see if maybe we can make sense of this together. We have to remember he's married to someone that Virginia does not get along with, and who does not get along with Virginia, despite the fact that she is her maternal mother. His excuse for not going, despite the fact that I'm sure Virginia would have sent him the money, no problem. he said that he's on Social Security and he could not afford to leave. What I suspect, and it's only my opinion, I could be wrong, is that he did not want to upset the apple cart with his wife, because it sounds like his wife, it appears to me that she's not she's not someone that one can get along with easily, hence why Virginia had to run away from home at such a young age. And the reason, very possibly, why Sky Roberts said as an excuse, I'm on Social Security, I don't have the money, I want to be with her. He's very concerned that she was going to unalive herself because she was very depressed. Again, she was going through the divorce and going through being estranged from her children, which began in January. So apparently, at the time of her son's birthday, which is in January, I think the first week of January, uh, there was something that happened, and that's when the final big break came. And that's what Virginia meant in her statement, where she said that the year began horribly for her. All of us have read that. That was on her Instagram. It's still really incredibly tragic. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the fact that she is not here. What I want to do is read to you what I posted earlier. What I posted earlier were my words, my last words, my statement on the loss of Virginia Roberts Giuffre. So what I wrote and what I'm sharing with you, because all of you are included in this, I want to let it be known that Virginia Roberts Giuffre had more than a biological family. Thousands of survivors, possibly millions, heard her courageous words and were inspired to keep going. I am among those whose hearts she touched in ways that words cannot explain. Very likely, you are too. Therefore, we are also her family. So to her biological family and her extended family here, across platforms, across the world, let us unite and wish our beloved angel one last wish and thank her for opening the door and allowing us to be free. Rest in peace, Virginia. And I believe she is no longer carrying the weight of this one tragedy after another, one horrific thing after another. I want to see if that's a really good question, Robert. Why on earth couldn't her husband just let her see her kids? It wouldn't have hurt, would it? I agree. I'm not going to argue with you. You know, people, when you are going through a divorce, people become very petty, and there's a power struggle. When I was going through the divorce, I could have walked away with half of my last husband's fortune, which I helped him build. But I saw that his family was beginning to gang up, so I said to him, I don't want a penny from you. Just let me divorce you. And I walked away from that marriage without anything, because all I wanted was to be free. I could have been sitting on a couple of $1 million based on the person that I married while I was in California, that I ran away, for my safety, believing I was going to be free. I met someone. He asked me to marry him. I married him. I helped him build some real estate holdings. I did that. I created wealth for him. But when it was time for me to leave, things got very nasty. He also started to become somewhat abusive and really mean, at which point I said, I'm out of here. And I have told you guys, hey, if someone is not treating you well, just leave. Even if you have to leave like I did. I left with nothing. And it wasn't the first time I've left a bad situation with nothing. We can replace material things. We can replace our money, not easy to do. We cannot replace, as we can see, we cannot replace our life. Joanna, hi, everyone here with you. We will not be afraid. Look, thank you for saying that. Because even on X, when I said that I'm writing an article, and it doesn't involve mentioning Prince Andrew, I was being told, no, don't do this, don't do that, don't write this, don't do that. And I'm not going to be silenced. If anything, those of us who Virginia lifted up in her very courageous fight against the most powerful people in the world, that includes me and most of you who are here, we are doubling down. We are doubling down. We will not be afraid. Just like Joanna just said, we will not be afraid. I am not afraid. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. I'm just taking... That's a very good question. Thank you. TikTok. Taking away the kids was the final blow. I think that with the trolling and the hate, and everyone, let me know if you agree with me. I really am here for you today. Because I did an update earlier today, and again, as I said, I'm going to show up on Sean's show tomorrow. But I'm here for you guys. So I think that the trolling by the various very hateful people who are in Ghislaine Maxwell's camp and in Prince Andrew's camp, the trolling takes its toll. Now, if those of you who are actors, performers, generally people are told, do not read your reviews. As victims and survivors, we are not told by anyone, do not read the comments. But that is what I have learned. Do not read the comments. And if you are a survivor, if you are a victim, do not read the comments. That's it. Stay away from the comments, because even those actors who do read their reviews, and most of you have seen this because I'm sure you've watched one or two Hollywood stars or musical icons discuss certain things. They're like, 100 people can be saying really great things to me, but I'm going to remember the one bad thing somebody said. And that's just human nature. We tend to focus on the one bad thing and not the 100 other really great things that people tell us. So yeah, I think that the kids definitely 90%, in my opinion, she couldn't see them. She was devastated. But she was also suffering internal damage to her kidney. She had been beaten up for a number of years. She was not long for this world. So if she had not perhaps self-medicated, like Ryan Dawson said on his X, and I encourage all of you to take a listen to what Ryan Dawson said, because these are very wise words. Had she not self-medicated to the point where she took her own, blank, Virginia was ill. She was not long for this world. She had suffered internal damaging too much. She had something going on with her kidneys. Okay? Let's see if I'm just kind of looking at your commentary. Fiona, hi. Hello from Ireland. Hey, great to hear you won't. No, I will. I am doubling down. I had a dream last night. I haven't been able to sleep very well, and I went back to bed. I forget what time, maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. Now, this very strange dream. And I woke up thinking, okay, well, I'm carrying the torch because I have been the most outspoken of Virginia's, the people who have propped her up, who have echoed her voice, who have fought her trolls. I've been fighting her trolls for years. I'm doubling down. Most of us here are doubling down. We will not be silenced. Remember, she initially, the nonprofit that Virginia created was Victims Refuse Silence. That's our motto. Victims refuse silence. Whether you are a man who is trying to overcome, because it takes us a lifetime to overcome. We still suffer from PTSD. Or you are a woman, we will not be silenced. We are not going to be silenced. If anything, Virginia is now a martyr. They made a very big mistake. I mean, I believe fully that she was, number one, ill. She didn't have a long time to live, but that she kind of expedited this on her own. But yeah, we will not be silenced. Let me see. Robert, any parent able-bodied has no excuse. Don't you dare be afraid, Kirby. I'm not afraid. I've never been afraid. I was held hostage in my home when someone was sent to kill me. And I sat down and I looked at him with a very large machete knife. And I was ready. I was not going to die a coward. I looked him straight in the eye. He held me hostage. I called 911 twice. The police are not responsive to me. I am one of these people who has a very high-powered member of this elite group, which is why I am here, who was my abuser and who keeps me from advancing and who has tried to kill me 3 times. I am never afraid. That said, the victims of JE, based on all of the commentary about this having been a hit, let's say, they are afraid. Okay, they're afraid. And I think for them, we have to be the ones to set an example. Let's stand strong. Let's stand strong. Let's stand united. I'm just reading your comments. Here it is, yeah. Yeah, one bad comment and I get hurt. There's a whole life out there. Her husband physically and mentally messed her up. Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, I mean, I'm getting to the point where, if somebody says something nasty on my YouTube channel, I delete them. It's like, really? That's how you feel? And I know that these are actually paid trolls. But I do want to see your comments because, like, you and I are like a team. And so I look for you guys and I try to skim over people that I don't recognize. But sometimes inadvertently I'll see something I'm like, if you know what? I just removed that person from my YouTube. They can't even see my YouTube channel anymore. So, but I encourage those of you who don't read the comments. Just don't read the comments. They're really not really worth reading, because that one nasty comment is going to stay with you for the rest of the day. Let's see. Look at this. You see? My father tried to leave my mother destitute after 20. That's what happens. People get very petty. All that I'm in love, I love you, all of that love bombing that happens in the beginning, that goes away. And then people become very petty. And I'm really sorry that happened to your mom. Can you let me know what happened? Put up another comment and let me know if your mother is okay and how that resolved itself. I want to, I'm I'm reading your comments. It's normal Virginia would feel crushed having her tragedy violated and trolled upon. The only way to know is to privately and separately consult evidential mediums from different countries. Now, I'm not sure what that means, is to consult evidential mediums from different countries. You mean like medium, like as somebody who reads your palm or tarot cards? Is that what you mean by that? I'm heartbroken. He'll only know when he has passed and undertakes his life review. Family mobbing, family scapegoating are brutal. Yeah, when you are in an argument with your family, you know how it's bad when you just have an argument with a friend. But when you have an argument and a disagreement with your family, the people that you trust the most, oh my God, it drains the life blood out of you. It's just, you know, it's very, very difficult. And, I wish she would have left. Yeah. I mean, yeah, thank you. Thank you, because that's what we have to do. We stand here together. That's it. We are loud as ever now. Yeah, I look, Susie says it very well. They want fear from us. And if you show fear or if you become fearful, they siphon out your power. Never let anybody take away your voice or your power. Never. Like I said to you guys yesterday, it's okay to be sad for an hour or a day. We're going to be healing for a lifetime once we have overcome the initial tragedy. But no, never let them see you sweat is the way I go through life. I don't give my power up for anyone. And I agree with her. F no. F no. They want to silence us? No. No. They have made Virginia a martyr, and we are doubling down. Yeah, I did stare the devil in the eye and miraculously survived. One day I will tell you guys the story. But you know what? It is in my memoir, in case the Billionaire's Woman, in case any of you want to read it. The link is on the description area below. And it's a good way to support my ongoing advocacy, because as much as I work to spread awareness, can you believe that I am doubling down? Let's see. Hi Marie, it's nice to see you here. I'm not calling Virginia in the slightest. It's her parents, the way her stepmother, no, her mother, not her stepmother, her mother, causing her to run away. It's just beyond my comprehension. As a parent, I'm sorry if it came out wrong. Well, no, because you're a good mom, Marie, sorry. but it was her mother. My mother was also a bad mother. And there were things about Virginia that I resonated with, the bad mother, the being basically sold into this deviant world of transportation, um, and being able to run away, but being still in a position where you are trying to get justice. For me, I never had justice in a court of law or anything like that, because my abuser was much more powerful than JE, and in fact is on the level where he is one of the power brokers of this shadow government. And so, yeah, here, I love your name, Meow. United, yes, strong. We stand here united, and we are strong, and we are not going to shut up and move on. That's just not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. I love how you are coming on, showing your support. That's it. You see a comment, block the person. Block. I love what you just said. As you should, block them without a second thought. 100%, 100%. We are with you all the way. All of us have to do this for our sanity, because there are like some unbalanced people in the world. They have only evil in their heart. Why should we be exposed to evil? Block them. Get rid of them. We don't need that. Okay, I do want to address this because Susie has a point, which I think I tried to explain yesterday. Sometimes you don't have the energy to continue. It's exhausting mentally and emotionally. It's easier to think about giving up so you won't feel anymore. I think that's what happened to Virginia. But for those of us who experience this, it comes and it goes. There are days that are going to be easier than others, and there are days that are going to be not that easy. It is. So what you have to do is you have to self-care. You have to self-care. Meaning, if you don't want to, or you don't have the energy to do certain things, give yourself a timeout. But just make sure it's not a very long timeout. But the feelings pass. Those that exhaustion does pass. Know that, okay, you may be feeling exhausted maybe one day, but know that you're going to be feeling better the following day. It does pass. Now, what I did is, I think I told you guys, I got a treadmill in the apartment. When I'm beginning to feel like, oh my God, and even though I'm exhausted, I'll get on that treadmill until I start feeling a little better. I'll put on some music that I enjoy. I'll go out for a walk. I'll go into the park. I'll look at the trees and the flowers. I'll do something silly like that, something that calms me down. And when I'm, it passes. I do not allow myself, and nor should you, to stay in a bad headspace. And regrettably, and so I've done that forever, which is why, and I also began to write, which is what eventually turned into a memoir. Now, I'm not suggesting people write a memoir, but writing is very cathartic. And it worked for me. It worked to kind of get the heaviness lifted off my shoulders, put it down on a piece of paper. And I think that it can help all of you to do something. Yeah, the battle she fought, she was exhausted. Plus, she was physically ill. She had a kidney. Her kidneys were failing. Her kidneys were failing. So she, despite the fact that she was only 41, she wasn't going to be long. She would have, you know, her body was shutting down. Paul Hudson, she was very brave to take on the royal family. It takes some guts. They are very powerful. Domestic abuser husband, a coward. Yeah, agree. Both of your statements, very well said. It did take on a very, when that happened, it happened at the end of 2021 that she initiated the civil lawsuit, and he attempted to get it dismissed from the court. And the court, to everyone's surprise, did not allow him to get it dismissed. And therefore, in January of 2022, he settled. He settled. I personally, just like you guys, I don't believe that people settle unless they're guilty. So, yeah. I'm like the older sister. Yeah, well, I think we're all, we have built a really close-knit community, and I miss you guys. If when I'm not online or something, and I'm like, oh, okay, I need to log in. I need to log in. So, Virginia last week, I swear the energy was so bad, and they must know something is coming. Sometimes, we can feel the energy, those of us who have that ability to like tap into energy. So Felicia, thanks for being here. Would Virginia in her mental state have anyone close to go to? Yeah, she had her brother. Her brother was by her side. He was staying with her because her father was afraid of this happening. So her brother, with whom she still had a good relationship, was with her. Remember we saw the picture of Virginia giving the finger to the paparazzi, and that we saw a guy driving? That's her brother Sky. And he was with her in the house, as was the carer of the house and the property. So yeah, she had a brother, and he was helping her as much as he could. So she had help, but she was beyond help. She was beyond help. She was just in a very bad state. She was done. She think about the energy it takes. She flew to Paris to deal with Jean-Luc. She lives in Australia. She kept having, during the years of the JE situation, and before that when she took on Ghislaine in 2015, she kept having to get on a plane and fly to the United States, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. She had the 3 children. She has a family to take care of. And she had to appear in court. She had to give depositions. Not one deposition, deposition after deposition after deposition. Do you know that what one lawsuit does to somebody? One lawsuit can just put you out of commission for 5 years, because sometimes a lawsuit will take anywhere from 3 to 5 years to get through the system. She has been going through this in the court system since she took on Ghislaine, which would have been 2014, 2015, and then she began providing information to the FBI, which I guess we now know is a farce. Oh, I want to let you know, because I have one of her tweets that I want to share with you, which is really important. So she tweeted this in November of 2023 because people are talking about the names are going to be dropped. The names. And so she said, I'm sorry to tell you that I have given the authorities in 6 different countries all the names. I have even and still am fighting for my depositions, plural, to be released so that they can be held accountable. I'm just one person. I can't take on the 1%ers by myself. Can you believe 6 countries? 6 countries have all of the names that, and she was only in this thing, I think, for about 18 months. I think 18 months, about 2 years. You know, some women were in this for a long number of years. So what we learned was a lot through Virginia, but think about it. We learned a sliver, a tiny sliver of a very big thing that we're only going to be able to piece together by continuing to read and reread legal documents and depositions. But remember, most of the women who did step forward signed the compensation fund, which required them to forget about pursuing the people who you were sent to, let's say, pleasure. So let's see. Yeah, I'm reading your. Yeah, you have to turn it off and give yourself love and self-care. Surround yourself with goodness. That's it. It's up to you. You know, your very best friend is you. It took me a very long time to learn this very sad reality that even people that I am still very close to, who I consider my best friends, that I am a better friend to myself than they will ever be. Although they're, the people around me now are phenomenal. I've known them for a long time. I trust them. However, I'm the only one that really knows how I feel. Nobody, even if I explain it to anyone 10 times, they're not going to understand. And therefore, I had to learn, and I'm urging you, if you are in a situation like I was, like Virginia was, to learn to become your own best friend. I'm going to share a story with you. So I had a birthday at the end of the year. And I didn't want anyone to ruin my birthday for me. And so what did I do? I went out and I bought myself all the birthday presents that I wanted. And I gave them to myself, so that I would know that I was going to actually enjoy my birthday. I didn't depend on anybody else to do anything for me. That said, people came through and they were very kind and very generous, and I ended up having a good birthday nevertheless. But I wasn't going to wait on somebody else to make my special day special. I went out and I got myself presents. Sometimes you have to just do it for yourself. And so I'm just going to continue to read your comments. Yeah, Ivana, they did take, it's not like they took her children away. It's just that her children are living with the father. And so, we don't really know what was going on day to day with them. What we do know is that she was an abused wife, let's say. Okay? I don't know that, we're not in her house. Let's see, I love this guy. You're awesome, Kirby. A true inspiration. I love your mindset and wish more people were like you. Thank you. But I think we can all kind of, have the mindset. It took me a long time to get here. If I can do it, we can all do it. We can all change our life for the better. We have it in us. We have that ability to do that. And Virginia was an inspiration for me. When Virginia started to come forward, I had been trying to get my voice heard for a very long time, and I was silenced and silenced and silenced and pushed back and pushed back. Even this morning on X, I can't DM Sean or any of the victims. I can't DM them. My real Twitter account, when Elon Musk took over in November of 2022, what happened to my account with tens of thousands of followers? He made it disappear. I used to have threads with all kinds of information, thread after thread after thread. People considered my Twitter account as their number one research tool. What did Elon Musk do? He made it disappear. I had the backup accounts on X landlord links for my business. And I'm happy I had it. I'm using it now. But I don't have nearly the amount of followers, and I can't even DM. As of this morning, I thought Sean had a problem with his DMs, and I said, you know what, you have a problem. Only to find out that that Elon Musk has decided that I can no longer DM with people that he finds to be challenging the elite power. The elites who are in power, like my abuser and the ones who abused Virginia, are very powerful people. Very powerful people. They're very close to these people. Yeah, I think that I mentioned to someone that most people will never understand the level. Even I think Virginia did not understand how big the Goliath that she was fighting really is. Because it took me a very long time to understand that I was fighting a Goliath that was too large for me to wrap my mind around. I didn't understand the pushback. I didn't understand the immense power. So, okay, when I got a divorce and I moved back, just to give you an example, and I moved back to New York from California, where I had gone thinking I was going to be safe, but I wasn't. I tried to join a dating service. Do you know that I'm not allowed to join a dating service? Because they own everything. They own every platform. The other day, when I could not get onto my Instagram that I'm using now, I said, okay, I'll start another Instagram. I saw that my at Kirby Summers on Instagram, gone. If you try to go to it, it's a gone page. This kind of stuff has happened to me time and time again. So then I did Kirby Summers 1, the number 1. As soon as I finished doing that, I was sent an immediate message from Instagram that I had violated their terms and services. I hadn't even gone to the page. So I am not allowed. I am censored. I am someone who has just been identified. If I call the police, they will not come to my house. When the man who held me hostage for 5 days was trying to break into my home and I called the police, not once, but twice, they did not come to my home. They are not responsive to me. I am that much of a threat to these very powerful people. The power that they have over every platform. So I get really annoyed when people are like, well, why can't you just say, instead of using the word unalive, is because I'm shadow banned even on this platform. I'm grateful to have anything going because really, I always try to find a way around all of the obstacles that are placed in my way, and that's what you have to do. I do not give up. You can put up as many obstacles as you want, but as long as there's a breath in me, I'm going to find a way around it. And that's how Virginia lived her life. And she did it because when her little girl was born, she was like she wanted to have a safer place for her daughter. That's when she basically said, okay, I'm in. And she started to provide information to the FBI, which again, really didn't do much, right? Okay, I want to say something to this. Ruby Domain. My advice, never take their compensation money. It's tainted and they don't keep honorable word. They'll come after it later. I want to say a couple of things. I forget what year it was, but I was offered $9 million as compensation to be silent. $9 million. An attorney showed up. I made an appointment. I said, well, I'll go to your office. I took one of my friends. I went to the attorney's office. I sat there and he laid it out for me, $9 million. Very odd number. I don't know what he expected me to do. I didn't have any money. I ended up not taking the money because I had been so damaged by so much that had happened to me that I believed that I could actually expose this in a court of law. I was not aware that our court system is corrupt. So in hindsight, if I were to go back to that person who I was when I was sitting in that attorney's office, knowing how difficult they made my life, I'll tell you the truth. I would take the $9 million and I would have just disappeared somewhere in Europe and I would have been silent. Because doing what I do is not the easiest job. I'm taking on not just my abuser, I'm taking on all of them like Virginia did. So that, yeah, it's tainted money. But guess what? They're making our life impossible, just regular day-to-day life. How many of you find it unusual that every time we go to the supermarket, things are more expensive? Everything is more expensive. So, no, they're not honorable, but even with the money that Virginia was given as compensation, that is not enough. She's not here. And it's not a replacement for the damage that they caused. Because look, her kidneys destroyed. She ended up in an abusive relationship. She was unhealthy. And now her 3 children have no parents except for the father, which is like, I understand some people want him to face the music and be charged for this. But let's think about it for a second. Does that then mean that the kids are left with no one? We're in a no-win situation here. So Virginia lived in Australia starting from the age of 19 after she met Robbie in Thailand. And she's been there ever since. Let's see. Susie, I received a thought before my mom passed. She always told me, primero estás tú. She would say that I needed to put myself first and take care of myself so that I could take care of my little one. Your mother was right. That's the way to do it. You take care of your needs first, and then you can take care of everyone else. Yeah, if one learns to enjoy their own company while alone, one understands more that we are actually all. Bravo! I'm applauding you over here. That is so well said. We are all one. I mean, think about it. We all have the same feelings. We all experience the same emotions, the same relationship situations. We share our commonalities are, our differences, except for people who are off, like psychopaths, we're the same, which is why we're here, basically trying to figure out how we move forward, because we're honoring Virginia's efforts. They're not in vain. She created a much larger family, but her brother was with her, okay? Yeah, look, I'm happy that, Robert, that you understand that Musk is another control freak like the rest of the elites. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Because when I hear some people on these podcasts talk about Musk and talk about all of these elites like they're different, I just want to throw my computer into the trash. But instead, I just turn it off and I'm like, let them figure it out on their own. And I'm just, these are people that I'm not really, that I'm not really interested in listening to that. So I'm just going to, let's see, what else are you guys saying? And we're all rocking. We are celebrating Virginia's achievements. We're going to miss her, but she lives on in each and every one of us, because she has now gave us additional fuel to keep going. And you know what? This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Look at this, Joanna. Preach, Kirby. Is that what I'm doing? Am I preaching? I just want, what I want to do is I want to make sure that we're all good. Here. Tara's Garden. Deciding how you want things to be is a huge step forward. When I left my job after many years, I invited coworkers I loved to a lunch that I paid for. No fake or malicious people were included. Good for you, because you already knew who the fake and malicious people were. And yeah, I think that's great that you did that for yourself. Bravo. And sometimes that's what we have to do. Do it for ourselves. Invite those who we feel good with. Yes. Yeah, but we are all strong. We are all strong. Here, this is important. Felicia, thanks for popping in again. Virginia's children should be very proud of their mother's courage when they reach maturity. Agree. Respect for her bravery. Her challenges were monumental. Yes, it's very sad, but yes, her children, when they are old enough to understand what she accomplished, will look at their mother like the hero that she is. Will look at her mother like the hero that she is. Okay, let's see. Let's see what else you guys. They tried to bribe, by my silence, but they tried to kill me too, 3 times. And they put obstacles in my way every single day. So, yeah, this is a good comment. They target your finances. Uh, yes, they target your finances to render you destitute, then call you a gold digger and a bad mother as you and your children starve out. That is true. That is true. Any business that I attempted to start was sabotaged by my abuser. Sabotaged. Bad reviews, sabotaged. Websites hacked, sabotaged. Anything I did, sabotaged. You know what? I kept going. I think anyone else would have stopped. I kept going, but that is exactly the plan. They target your finances. That is why there is no shame. If I really do wish I could go back and get that $9 million, frankly, because I had a lot of need, I had a lot of need during those years. If you're ever in a situation where they offer you money for your silence, take it. Don't be ashamed. They deserve, you are owed that and more. Take it. And then build a sort of like a very, very safe world for yourself. But yeah, we, sadly, that is the currency. We need currency to go to the supermarket. Here, cannot afford to buy eggs because they killed all the chickens. Yeah. So I go to a market and I picked up a chicken salad, pre-made chicken salad. 3 years ago, it was $8.99, and then they changed it to $11.99. And I was in the store, I don't know, 2-3 days ago, and then it was $15.99. And you know what? I said, here, keep it. I'm gonna learn to make chicken salad because I refuse to let them make me go hungry, because that's the plan. That's the plan. So there is no shame in what Virginia did by allowing them to compensate her or any of the victims who took the money. Because if I were again in that position, I would have taken the money. There is no shame in that. Sadly, it costs money to live. We need to pay our bills. No one's going to do it for us. You know how many people actually marry someone just for the money? And these women are very incredibly sad. Clearly, Virginia was not one of those. She married for love. Regrettably, he noticed and he must have spotted that she was vulnerable, and he took advantage of that. But we have to choose wisely, okay? We have to choose wisely. Yes, Virginia gave me a kick up the butt. Yes, she did that with me too, becoming strong from hurt and weak. I love her and you for that. I'm really happy to hear you say that, because she gave me that too. And you also, Robert, will be that for other people. We this is a cycle. It's a cycle, and we just keep it going, because we learn, we get stronger, and we help other people. We help other people. Let's see. I'm going to just I am going to, you guys are putting in a lot of comments. Yeah, okay. Yeah, everything in the United States also. Same thing in the United States. Now there are police officers or faux police officers, I guess, whatever they are, in every store. Everything is super expensive too. Here, she gave me so much strength a few years ago when it was particularly brutal. Yep, yep. Virginia was a beacon. Very good point, Joanna. The settlement gave her funds to keep fighting. That's true. without those funds, she would not have been able to do that. So Joanna, personally for myself, I don't want the money in settlement. I do worry because I can't work from DID. Okay, I mean, each of us has to do our thing. Let's see. Do you have any questions before we wrap it up here? So if you do, this is the time. Do me a favor though. Do it the way that Sean does it. Put a Q in your comments, and I'm just going to wait a little bit and see if any questions come in. Let's see. So, oh my God, this is so healing to be able to read and chat with others who know this. I've been isolated. Well, you're not isolated anymore because we've discovered that we're all feeling the same thing. And we can heal ourselves. Again, just if you're feeling not that great one day, the way I do it is I give myself an hour. Okay, I can feel bad for an hour. Or maybe, okay, for today I'll have that slice of cake. Okay, I'm going to do that. But then I'm much better tomorrow. If I have to take a day off, I'll take a day off. I pretty much do work all the time. This keeps me very focused. This has been very healing for me because I'm surrounded by like-minded people like you. Like it's like, okay, so you guys give me the energy that I need to keep going forward. So Kathy, what is your cue? What is your question? Yeah, let's see. I'm waiting to see if Kathy, do you know how much we love and respect you, Kirby? That's very, very kind of you to say. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Robert, do not feel isolated. You've got all of us around here. Hey, you don't have to apologize for sounding like an old hippie. Old hippies are great. The coolest guys. Yeah, Virginia, I met Virginia when I started on this path. At the time that I met Virginia, she only had about 300 followers on her Twitter, and we began to communicate, and I found her to be very warm, very loving, very generous. I showed her a photo of my abuser, wanting to know if she had met him. She had seen him because he's up the ladder. He's like Leslie Wexner level. He's up there, very high level. And she told me that she did not recognize him. Very, well, in my book, Jeffrey Epstein, Predator Spy, I do include information about Virginia. But so far, there is no biography about Virginia, but I do include Virginia in my book, Jeffrey Epstein, Predator Spy. Okay, well, I think that I think we're good. I think we're good. I'll keep you guys, we're going to be doing this. We're going to keep going. We're going to continue to like meet up, talk, vent, and together we're going to heal. We are going to continue to carry on. Virginia has passed her torch on to us, and we are going to move forward, and we will double down, and we will just fight that much harder. But remember, guys, self-care, okay? The most important thing. Try to stay away from the negative commentary. Don't read them. Learn to block people. I had to teach Virginia, block this person, block that person. I did that for her, and I did that for other survivors. And, just be good to yourself, all right? So that said, have a, Give yourself some kind of like, do something good for yourself today. Start today if you haven't started. And tomorrow I will be on Sean Atwood's show at 1 o'clock my time. So that's Eastern time. I believe for him in the UK, it would be 6 o'clock. Okay. And we all love Virginia. And she's in our hearts. It's tragic. But she is, you know, when I lost a family member who had been he had suffered a stroke and had become partially paralyzed and was in a very bad state, even having lost some of his mental capacity. And when he passed, and I adored him, and when he passed, I just knew it. In my heart, I felt a relief that he was, as trite as this sounds, that he was in a better place. He was no longer feeling the agony that he was feeling. So Virginia is in a better place, and she remains in our heart. Okay, guys, have a good day. Bye.